Good evening, and thank you everyone for coming to our 25th annual Chairs Reception. My name is Kyle Pudwell, and I'm the chair of the Community Foundation of Southeastern Alberta. The Community Foundation of Southeastern Alberta is pleased to support vibrant, healthy, and caring communities across our region. Our mission is to create meaningful connections between donors and local charities for the permanent benefit of Southeastern Alberta. Donations to the Community Foundation are never spent, but are prudently invested for the benefit of generations to come. Each year, that investment income is distributed to a wide range of charities across the region according to our donors' wishes. Tonight, we will witness some of this inspiring community philanthropy. The CFSEA was established by founder John Ignatius in 1992 with an original gift of $25,000. Over 30 years later, we now have a total endowment of over $29 million. This endowment allowed us to distribute approximately $385,000 this fall. We continue to grow, and our grants continue to carry out our donors' wishes, which support a wide variety of charitable organizations and causes across our region. This evening, we will celebrate some of these organizations and donors who received community grants, donor-advised grants, and agency fund disbursements. Additionally, we will be hearing from two charities on the impact of receiving past community grants. Before we continue, I just want to acknowledge that the Community Foundation of Southeastern Alberta is privileged to live and play on Treaty 7 and Treaty 4 territory, traditional lands of the Siksika, Kainai, Piikani, Stoney Nakoda, and Tsuut'ina, as well as the Cree, Sioux, and the Saulteaux bands of the Ojibwe peoples. We honor and acknowledge that we are on the homelands of the Métis Nation within Alberta. We have a number of dignitaries represented in our audience tonight. We'd like to recognize them when I call your name. Please hold your applause until the end. Richard Oster, Deputy Reeve of Cypress County. Ann Mitchell, City Managers with the City of Medicine Hat. Cassie Hyder, Shyla Sharps, and Andy McGrogan, City of Medicine Hat Council members. And Della Burkett and Terry Ann Boyer, representatives from MLA Wright's office. Thank you very much for coming. Events like this would not be possible without the generosity of our sponsors. JMH & Co. has been a supporter of the CFSEA's work for many years, generously sponsoring our Chairs Reception since 2010. I would like to extend a warm welcome to Tyler Posick from Johnston Morrison Hunter & Company to say a few words. Tyler?
Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for coming out, braving the cold. I hope everyone's hands are appropriately calloused from shoveling. And if not, they will be, hopefully pretty quick. JMH has been supporting the Community Foundation since 2010. I'm not sure how the years in math works because the 90s was 10 years ago, so it's getting pretty tough for me to figure that out. I do have some gray hair if the spotlight's not showing that quite clearly. I'll keep it short and sweet. It's great to see everyone out here supporting the Community Foundation. And just want to say congratulations to the foundation for another successful year of grants. Thanks so much.
Our 2023 and 2024 annual report is hot off the press. It's right here. It looks very beautiful. Make sure you take one and give it a read. Page 3 is the financials. It's all the interesting stuff. This past year was a remarkable year in terms of impact for Southeastern Alberta. $946,000 distributed in grants to local organizations is absolutely amazing. The generosity of our incredible donors who contributed almost $1.4 million this past year is the reason we continue supporting our region through grants. The work we do would not be possible without our fantastic board, committee members, and staff. We have a few committee members present tonight. Please stand when I call your name. Please hold your applause until the end. Dennis Egert from the Finance Committee. From the Grants Committee, Shauna Dickey and Jamie Nelson. From the Endowment Development Committee, Greg Niwa, Todd O'Reilly. And from the Community Leadership Committee, Marco Jansen, Chelsea Erzman. From the Brooks Advisory Committee, Inge Ellison. And one additional Community Leadership Committee member, Annabelle Merriquin. Thank you all for being here. Can our board members in attendance please stand as I read your names? Vice Chair Julie Friesen, Secretary Glenda Hawthorne, Treasurer Tyler Posek, Ahmad Kassan, Dan Kammerer, David Andrews, Doug Little, Don McLennan, Jennifer Ma, Jim MacArthur, Josh Hudson, Jesse Prince, John Hughes, and Natalie Van Tripp. Thank you all for volunteering your time. I would also like to thank the CFSEA staff for all the time and dedication they put into this event and the work they do year-round. Feel free to stand when I mention your name. Chris Christie, Interim Executive Director. Barb Kenworthy, Finance Administrator. Rianne Falk, Foundation Services Coordinator. Sydney Ratzlaff, Grants and Communications Coordinator. Lauren Friesen, Vital Signs Research and Project Coordinator. Helen Nicholson, Regional Development Coordinator. Nicole Nichols, Community Fund Coordinator in Brooks. And Nikki Gray, our Executive Director, who is on maternity leave. Let's give a round of applause. Next, I would like to invite David Andrews, board member and chair of the Top 7 Over 70 committee, to give you an update on our recent event. David.
Thank you and good evening. And what a great evening it is for the Community Foundation of Southeastern Alberta as we celebrate many of the organizations and charities that bring so much richness to all of our communities. My name is David Andrews and I chair the Brooks and District Community Fund Advisory Committee. Now that is quite a mouthful, but we are proud of the success we have had in bringing awareness of the Community Foundation of Southeastern Alberta, along with the other communities of 40 Mile, Prairie Crocus, which is special areas, and Cypress County. But I'm here today to tell you the story about the Top 7 Over 70 project, which the Community Foundation initiated here in Medicine Hat and across southeastern Alberta in 2024. This is a wonderful and inspiring idea that well-known oil and gas pioneer and philanthropist Jim Gray, who is now in his 90s himself, introduced in Calgary in 2017. Jim describes how he came up with this idea by saying that we have celebrated younger generations for years, top under 30, 4 under 40, and so on. Today, we have a generation of seniors that are more vibrant and active than at any time in our history, and Jim thought that they should be celebrated. The board of directors of the Community Foundation were persuaded to take up the challenge of having a Top 7 Over 70 event in southeastern Alberta. The pillars of the foundation are: we give, we grow, and we inspire. And the Top 70 Over 70 event certainly fits under the inspire pillar. The bones of this project are pretty simple, really. In the first place, you reach out to communities in Medicine Hat and across southeastern Alberta to nominate folks who have started something new, innovative, and interesting after the age of 70. Second step is to select the top 7 recipients. And the third step is to celebrate their achievements at a premier gala event. We were not necessarily looking for extraordinary people. We were looking for ordinary people who do extraordinary things after the age of 70. We were looking for diversity, innovation, creativity, leadership, and the kinds of activities that enrich all of our communities. And we found 7 very deserving individuals. Deborah Forbes, a teacher, philosopher, and creator of the Sea Jellies art project. Jake Ether, author of the book called No More a Stranger. He's from Brooks. Martha Moonskew, she's the pond lady from Medicine Hat. Bill Ewell, philanthropist and a major funder of the Marjorie Ewell Cancer Center, who's from Medicine Hat. Wilma Hunter. Wilma initiated the Dress a Girl project in Brooks. Blair Reed. Blair headed up the construction of the Dunmore Equestrian Center. Opening soon, I'm told. I see that in the news today. Nancy Hanson, self-taught photographer and author, and all-around wonderful storyteller. She's from OM. The Top 7 over 70 2024 inaugural event culminated with a gala held at the Medalta Historical Site on October the 10th. We all got dressed up and came out to meet and celebrate these 7 amazing individuals. We had a lot of fun, a very nice dinner, and watched short videos of each of the recipients. We saw them each presented with a specially commissioned piece of art produced at the Medalta site by artist James Marshall. The individual videos, as well as a video of the entire gala program, can be found under the Top 7 over 70 tab on the Community Foundation website. The Top 7 over 70 Southeastern Alberta project was truly inspiring, not just for seniors, but for people of all ages who are encouraged to be active and to support their communities. It is our intention for the Community Foundation to continue to produce a Top 7 over 70 event every second year. So start thinking of folks that you might consider nominating for Top 7 over 70 in 2026. Thank you.
Thank you, David. What an amazing and inspiring night the gala was. And as David mentioned, if you didn't get a chance to attend, 2026 is be here before you know it, and you don't want to miss out. It was a really great time. Next, we will hear 2 impact stories from the recent community grant recipients to share about what they have been up to since they received their grants. We'd like to invite Rachel Didichuk to speak on the YMCA Camp Jude project. This project received a $25,000 community grant in the spring of 2024. Rachel.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for having me. I'm going to speak a little bit to the program itself, and then I'll get into my story. So the program itself is an innovative licensed day camp. It's offered to children in our community, grades kindergarten to grade 6, so that's 5 to 12 years old. And it's trauma informed. So we offer a quieter space for children to have programming. We ensure that there are well-trained staff, which include our early childhood educators, our behavioral consultants, and our one-to-one supports that ensure the kiddos have access to sensory supports and sensory resources. And we ensure that our staff are at a higher ratio than our children, which is unique to this community for sure. My story is a little bit about a camper and a one-to-one support. So in my work, when I took over the program, we want to ensure that there were opportunities for campers and one-to-one supports to connect before they actually were introduced at camp and had the programming. And so our first introduction meeting was with this young girl, and amongst her complex needs and her high attention behaviors and big emotions that maybe brought her to camp, she was this vibrant young girl. And one of those aspects of vibrancy was that at the time she was wearing these electric Barbie pink Crocs. And they were so wonderful. And enter our one-to-one support, who was wearing the exact same electric pink Barbie Crocs. So it's to say that, these small things in this work actually are these big things, and they're points of connection. And with this impact, so this one-to-one support worker worked with this child the whole summer. They did field trips together. They did all of our programming together, and they built this extraordinary relationship that actually existed beyond our camp. And so they took place outside our camp to do respite care, this one-on-one worker, and she still continues to do that for our child that was participating in our camp. And so I think that's extraordinary. I think that really speaks to the fact that there's a sense of belonging in our camp. There's, these community connections that exist beyond our doors and within our doors. And I think that's extraordinary. And it speaks to the health and, again, vibrancy of this work and the Community Foundation. I think that example really speaks to what our funding went towards, and that was our staffing and ensuring we had extraordinary staff. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Rachel, for sharing what an impactful summer you had on kids in this city. I would now like to call up Chantal Patterson from the Alzheimer's Society to share about their new project, Memory Kits. This project received a $2,000 community grant in spring 2024.
Thank you. I am so pleased to be here on behalf of the Alzheimer's Society of Alberta and Northwest Territories. Currently, in Alberta and Northwest Territories, we have 60,000 individuals living with dementia. When you think about it, that's just under the population of Medicine Hat. Since 2020, here in the Medicine Hat region, we have experienced a 48% increase in the number of clients that we support. That's a huge increase over the course of 4 short years. I work in client services, and I can tell you from personal experience that there is significant demand for our services and support programs. Last year, in the Medicine Hat region, we were able to support 1,000 care partners and people living with dementia. We are also expecting that demand to grow. Our recent landmark study that was released this year predicts that there will be a 286% increase in Alberta by 2050. That's the highest rate in Canada. We are already seeing the increase in demand for services. For example, we receive more than 200 referrals every month in the society. Despite the numbers, though, we are confident that we can make an impact. This confidence comes from knowing that our amazing community is behind us. One of the ways we were able to make an impact in our community was through the creation of the Memory Kits in partnership with the Medicine Hat Public Library. We were inspired by the success of similar kits developed by the Alzheimer's Society of Alberta and Northwest Territories in Lethbridge. It's a city that has similar demographics to Medicine Hat. We decided to introduce them here as well. So we have heard from our care partners that they would like to engage in activities with their person living with dementia and enjoy their time together, but often find it challenging. To address this, we designed these kits to include activities that help foster communication, connection, and enjoyment. We were generously given funds through the Community Foundation of Southeastern Alberta to create 2 kits. With the funds that were awarded to us, we were able to actually do 4 kits in the Medicine Hat. And we had enough funds left over to purchase replacement items so that we can sustain these kits. Each kit is unique and includes a variety of resources. You might find a music player, books specifically geared for people living with dementia, puzzles, locally made fidget blankets, wooden games, our Imagination Alive books, if you're aware of that, that's through our Learn program. Ideas on things to do with someone living with dementia, and how to use the kits. The activities in the kits can be tailored to whatever stage of person living with dementia is in. The memory kits have been checked out with homebound locations through the Medicine Hat Public Library, which reduces barriers in accessing these kits. We are incredibly grateful to the Community Foundation of Southeastern Alberta for their generous $2,000 donation, which helped us create and sustain these kits. This support is crucial in making this initiative a reality. Thank you again, Community Foundation, for your support in helping us to complete a dream that helps us to support the care partners and people living with dementia in our community. In addition to memory kits, we continue to focus on important projects as a society. Each month, we host the First Link presentation at the Viner Center, which is an education program about dementia. We host separate support groups for care partners and people living with dementia. Our early stage support group began in May and has grown rapidly, so much so that we are planning to start a second group in Medicine Hat. The Alzheimer's Society of Alberta and Northwest Territories also offers education and support for care partners and people living with dementia through phone, in-person, and online programming in all of our 7 regions. Crystal and I are honored to serve the Medicine Hat region, which stretches from Oyen, including all of Cypress County, Brooks, and of course, Medicine Hat. We are also connecting with businesses to offer unique experiences like equine wellness therapy for people living with dementia. Looking ahead, we are excited for our Awareness Month in January, our IG Walk for Alzheimer's, May 24th at the Kiwanis Central Park. Save the date. We're also looking for committee members and volunteers on that walk. As a nonprofit, we rely heavily on donations to support these programs, such as our memory kits, so we truly appreciate that. Finally, while we are busy with these initiatives, we also want to reassure the community that we are here to help. We are in the process of finding a new office location in Medicine Hat. However, we are still able to meet people in person in our community, as well as offer supports through phone or online. We love supporting and serving our community so that people who are impacted by dementia can continue to live well. Be sure to check out our new Facebook page, Help for Dementia-Medicine Hat, for local updates, and visit our website, which is helpfordementia.ca, for resources and more information. If you or someone you know could benefit from the support of the Society, please reach out to either Crystal or myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Chantal, for sharing about this innovative project. Now we would like to invite you to refresh your food and drinks at this time. Before we do that, let's give the staff here at the Medicine Hat Golf and Country Club a big round of applause. We will join back here for more impact stories and grant recipients in about 10 minutes. So we're going to get started. This fall, Lauren and Sydney have put together a marketing campaign showcasing family philanthropy. The idea of philanthropy, generosity of time, talent, and treasure, can be passed from generation to generation. A gift today impacts generations tomorrow. Tonight we want to share 3 videos of families who have done just that. Before we start the videos, I guess the video only works on this television, so all the folks over there, just come make friends over here. Gotta have to squeeze in. It's gonna be really hard to see on that side. Or not. Okay. All right. We will start the video.
Well, it was around 1999. We were approached to do a memorial at the base of Sholton Hill. And I thought, sounds like a really good organization. My mom and dad donated in 2000, so that encouraged us to donate. We got more involved with the foundation. I was an applicant for a grant, and we were successful in that. And then I was approached to join the board. I really got to understand what a wonderful organization the Community Foundation was. I was lucky enough to be chair for 5 years. And during that time, my wife Wanda and I started our own fund, and we contributed that every year. And even though my dad's passed, my mom still contributes every year to the Community Foundation. All 3 of us are Heritage Club members, so we're going to leave part of our estate to the Community Foundation so that they can help the community's greatest needs. My dad always said, if you're successful in the community, it's an obligation to give back to that community. And I always found the Community Foundation to be the best avenue to do that. The money that you give is never spent. It's just the principal that they earn. It's professionally invested. And so it's really nice to know that, you know, after you're gone, your money's still helping the community that supported you for all the years.
The money stays local, like you're donating, but it's not going elsewhere. It stays in our community, which is very important.
That's so important. Money stays local.
I would really encourage anybody to at least go get some information from the Community Foundation. And I'm quite sure that after they hear what's available, they'll become donors as well.
We kind of got inspired. Davis was, our middle boy was in junior high, and he had a friend who wanted to play soccer, and he had a single mom couldn't afford for him to pay. So we heard about kids sport, and we took the kids sport forms and they paid for everything. We just thought it was amazing. And then a few years later, Drew found out about the Community Foundation, because we thought, well, we'll just make a donation to kids sport. And somebody said, why don't you just donate it to the Community Foundation, and then you could give to kids sport forever. A family tradition for us has been to decide at Thanksgiving. So that's generally when our boys are all home. We have conversations about where should we give our money this year, because we are giving thanks because we live in such a nice community and we can give back.
We also give a lot of our volunteer time, and we try to encourage that to our children as well to get involved.
The big thing that I love is that we will forever be giving money to Medicine Hat, Southeastern Alberta community. It's not a one and done, it is forever, and that's the word for me that is sort of my why.
And at the end of the day, it is kind of heartwarming when you look back at all the groups we helped in small ways and that kind of thing. And I'm just so glad that will continue long past us.
So our goal would be to take the values of charitable giving that my parents instilled in me and my two brothers and continue giving to all these great organizations year after year after year.
I was fortunate enough to get a position with the Community Foundation. And once I was there, I really learned about how funds work and endowments. And my family was already starting to support the community. Once we learned we could set up some funds for them to grow in perpetuity, it just seemed like a really smart and easy way to look after a lot of areas in Medicine Hat. My parents passed it on to both myself and my siblings just because they were always wanting to make sure that our community was well looked after. By doing that and passing that on and letting family members or friends and next generation know, it just means that you're going to be in a healthy community, and it feels good. It feels good to give. I think that it's a great organization. They'll certainly help put you in different directions of what interests you. Just so many aspects and organizations that are looking for help in our communities. You can certainly then pick something that really interests your family, or even is something that each year your family can get together and discuss. And that way you kind of get all generations involved, and it just makes it really easy.
It's the easiest way to give because you look after everything. All we have to do is supply the money, and it grows, and then there's more to give.
Thank you to the Barnes, Ansels, and Curtins for sharing their stories. Well done, great videos. We would now like to present the agency funds. Chris Christie, would you please join me at the front? An agency endowment is a simple and effective way for charities to establish their own endowment for long-term sustainability. Agencies can choose to offer this option to their regular donors, host endowment-specific fundraisers, or commit to investing a specific amount each year to grow their agency endowment. I would like to invite Tracy Laturnis, Library Manager, to accept this first agency fund check for the Town of Redcliffe Library Board.
Do we have to pose or anything?
Okay, all right.
Is that all you need me for? Are there more?
I think no, there's still more.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm pleased to invite Craig Wood, Executive Director with Ready Enterprises Society, to accept their agency fund disbursement. Oh, no? Okay, next one. I would like to welcome Deb Shaw, Executive Director, to accept the agency endowment check for the Core Association. Here to accept the check for Praxis Science Outreach Society is Patty Rooks, Senior Scientific Consultant with Praxis. Congratulations. Nope. Oh, Kat, nope. Somebody else? Kathy Lanowski is going to accept the check. Finally, we are pleased that Delene Lorenzen, Executive Director, could join us to receive the Rotary Club of Medicine Hat Music Festival Agency Fund check. At the Community Foundation, we also hold numerous donor advised funds. These are funds that allow donors to make a charitable contribution to their fund as frequently as they wish and receive an immediate tax deduction. They then recommend grants to one or more charities from the fund year after year. Tonight, we have 3 donor advised funds that would like to present to the charity that they have chosen. Would Karen Safran and Mark Lewell please come forward? They are distributing from the Lewell Family Fund to 2 agencies today. Karen and Mark, would you like to say a few words?
Do we give away who we?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. We have chosen to make our donations to Praxis Science Outreach Society, which is a cause that's really close to my heart. And then the Medicine Hat Community Housing Association, because I think that we all know that housing is fundamental, super important. So that's what we're here to do.
First.
Okay. So this one, Jamie Rogers.
Yeah, so Jamie Rogers and Robin Miller from the Medicine Hat Housing Society are here to accept the $1,000 grant from the Lewell Family Fund. Yeah. Additionally, Kathy Lanowski from Praxis Science Outreach, would you please come forward to receive the $3,980 grant from the Lewell Family Fund? Thank you. Would Greg Niwa please come up next? The Niwa Family Fund is presenting the $10,000 donor advised grant to the Medicine Hat College designed for the Beach Project. The Beach Project is committed to building a stronger, more resilient community through enhanced mental health education and research. Here to receive the funds is Jen Kerslake from Medicine Hat College.
On behalf of the Niwa Family Fund, very proud to support the Beach Project.
Hi, my name is Jen Kerslake. I'm the Director of Community Engagement for the college, which is also the home of the Beach Project. So the Beach Project is an initiative specifically to support mental health education and research within Southeast Alberta. And we're really proud that it is governed and advised by Medicine Hat College, all 3 regional school divisions, as well as Medicine Hat Police Service. So we have touched tens and tens and tens of thousands of youth and families across Southeast Alberta over the last 4 years, and will continue to do so from the generosity of the Niwa family. So thank you.
And I would just like to thank Jen and the advisory committee. They've done a hell of a job.
Thanks.
The CanCarb Employees and Alumni Endowment Fund has selected 2 charities to give their funds to this year. $1,060 to each the Root Cellar Food and Wellness Hub and to the Viner Center Meals on Wheels program. Unfortunately, a CanCarb representative was unable to make it this evening, so Chris will present the checks. Would Melissa Mullis, Executive Director from the Root Cellar, and Aaron Reed, Program Manager with the Viner Center, please come forward to accept these funds? For our final item this evening, we will be distributing the Fall 2024 Community Fund grants. I would like to welcome up Sydney Ratzlaff, Grants and Communications Coordinator, who works closely with the charities and oversees the community grants. Joining her will be Jesse Prince, Board Member and Grants Committee Member, to distribute the grants.
Oh dear. There's too many. Okay, I'll just put them down there. There's too many. That's good. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sydney Ratzlaff. As Kyle said, I'm the Grants and Communications Coordinator. And with me is Jesse Prince, our board member, and he's also the representative from the Grants Committee tonight. So we are pleased to announce that we're distributing just over $200,000 to 27 organizations through our community grants this fall. Just congratulations. Our community grants are made possible in part by our Field of Interest funds, which allow donors to choose an area of interest to support, as well as from our donors who allocate their donations to the greatest needs in southeastern Alberta. Donors can create a fund, donate regularly, or make a one-time contribution to support the community grants. Join me in thanking our amazing donors who choose to support the community grants. Thank you. When reviewing the many grant applications, our grants committee considers the whole region, the impact on the project, our vital signs priority areas, and the funds available when reviewing the 45 applications this fall. I'd like to recognize the grants committee members. If you're here today, please stand when I call your name. Glenda Hawthorne, she's our chair. Doug Little, I know he's here, there he is. Don McLennan, Hannah Miner, Jamie Nelson, she's here. John Hughes, Jesse Prince, Julie Friesen, and Shauna Dickey. Thank you all. So much clapping. I'm going to get you guys clapping a lot tonight. So since CFSEA covers a wide range of geographical areas, we also rely on our 4 rural advisory fund committees to review applications for their respective areas. Brookson District, County of 40 Mile, Special Areas in MD of Acadia, and Cypress County. And a special thanks to David Andrews, the chair of our Brooks Committee, for joining us this evening. All 4 of our committees will be holding separate local events to celebrate their recipients. We will announce the recipients for Medicine Hat and Redcliffe, and so please come to the front when I announce your name to accept your grant package and have your picture taken. So first up, Community Food Connections Association focuses on supporting food security in the community through education, programming, partnerships, and policy support for improvements in food, nutrition, health, and local agriculture. Working with the city, they have recently relocated one of their community gardens to the former tennis courts at Osborne Park in the Northeast Crescent Heights. In the spring, they will install new raised garden beds, picnic tables, and shading for gardens to provide accessible garden options for people in the community who need it. I'd like to invite up Food Security Coordinator Allison Van Dyke and Garden Program Coordinator Genevieve Matthew to accept the grant of $5,000. I'm already out of order. That's not going to work. Okay. South Country Village is a local seniors home caring for the physical, emotional, spiritual, and social needs of residents. Haven of Rest provides long-term care to help residents age in place. This grant, to help them purchase 2 new bariatric beds, providing support and safety for individuals who require specialized care. I'm pleased to invite Haven of Rest CEO Daryl Martin and Board Chair Brian Strauss to accept this grant of $9,962. Did one get given away? Did one get given away? Okay. Well, this one. Sure. Just keep carrying on here. All right. Junior Achievement Southern Alberta is dedicated to educating young people about business. They provide age-appropriate curriculum about financial literacy, work readiness, and entrepreneurial programming to students in grades K to 12 across Southern Alberta. Programs are delivered by their dedicated volunteers from local communities. I'd like to welcome Lori Swatsky with Junior Achievement Canada to accept this grant. All right. Up next, we have McMahon Youth, Family, and Community Service Association. They received full funding of $25,000 to support their Lynx Recovery House. Lynx offers supportive, sober, and abstinence-based recovery environment for adults who have completed detox and are awaiting residential treatment. Services include individualized goal setting, crisis intervention, daily necessities, and living support, including meals, mental health education, addiction education, and much more. We invite Executive Director Tracy Muchler and Lindsay Smith to accept this grant of $25,000. The Root Cellar Food and Wellness Hub, formerly known as the Medicine Hat and District Food Bank, is dedicated to providing emergency food with dignity and helping families access vital community support. Currently, they are facing a high demand for their service. This $10,000 grant will help them to continue to meet emergency needs of those who they serve by stocking their shelves with food. We'd like to invite Executive Director Melissa Mullis and Shay Hardikopp to accept their grant. Next up, the Medicine Hat YMCA offers numerous programs to inspire youth and families to reach their full potential. You heard of one story that they're already working on this evening. With the help of this grant, they will launch an innovative program to support students who have been suspended from school due to problematic behavior, while also supporting consistent academic focus. YMCA's Alternative Suspension Program helps students foster resilience, independence, and the ability to stay in school, giving students a chance to reflect on their situation and set a positive path forward. I'd like to welcome up Sharon Hayward, CEO, and Jody Engbert, General Manager, to accept a grant of $15,000 for their Alternative Suspension Program. Thank you. The missing grant was found, so paper clips are maybe not a good idea. All right, I apologize. Everactive Schools. Thank you for your patience. Everactive Schools support and engage schools, providing professional development and resources for teachers, annual networking opportunities, and student leadership opportunities. Early next year, the inclusive play visits will begin, as Everactive Schools supports teachers and EAs with inclusive play demonstrations with students to help youth with disabilities actively participate in adaptive sports. I'd like to invite up Amy Risk-Richardson, Assistant Director, and Aaron Schwab, Health and Wellness Consultant, to accept this grant of $11,000, of which $2,300 comes from the Growing Active Kids Fund. Thanks for joining us. The Rotary Music Festival's 69th year of festivities is scheduled for the first 2 weeks of March 2025. Each participant has the opportunity to perform in front of professional adjudicators who provide feedback to each performer. The festival provides an opportunity for growth and confidence in skill, as well as a number of awards for young musicians. We'd like to invite Executive Director Delynn Lorenzen and grant writer David Panabaker to accept a grant of $5,000, of which $590 comes from the Mayor's Community Fund. Congratulations. SafeLink Alberta offers low-barrier, non-judgmental, and informed programs from a harm reduction framework supporting people who use substances. With the growing homelessness crisis, they experienced a surge in demand for their services to promote the well-being of marginalized individuals. This grant for $10,000 will enhance access to basic needs supplies such as food and hygiene items, as well as assistance with system navigation for health and social services. We invite the manager, the Medicine Hat Support Services, Marie, and the lead of Outreach and Peer Services, Krista, to accept this grant of $10,000. Southeastern Alberta Archaeological Society will host the 50th anniversary Provincial Archaeological Conference in April. This conference will bring together over 100 researchers, professionals, students, and the community. This event will include speakers, tours, workshops, and activities, bringing together many organizations and community members. I would like to welcome President Wendy Ellen and board member and grant writer Kathy Lanowski to accept this $4,000 grant, of which $2,900 comes from the Environmental Legacy Fund. Starlight Children's Foundation supports the mental health and emotional well-being of Canadian families with seriously ill children. This grant will allow the Medicine Hat Hospital Pediatric Unit to receive 2 Starlight handhelds, which are portable gaming devices that encourage play, reduce stress, and empowers kids. Unfortunately, a representative from their agency could not attend tonight, but we look forward to the startup of their local initiative. Stigma Free Society promotes mental health and dismantles associated stigma nationwide. Recently, programs were added to Medicine Hat when the founder and president moved to our city. This grant will provide mental health education programs in schools across southeastern Alberta, including a mental health toolkit, live virtual presentations, professional development sessions, clubs, and peer support training. I would like to welcome President Andrea Paquette and Programs and Content Manager Jillian Boyd to accept this grant of $12,000 for the expansion of the Stigma Free Schools program in Southeast Alberta.
And say I love Medicine Hat. I like moving here. That's good.
Oh, good. Andrea made the right decision to move to Medicine Hat. The Harvest Church, known as the Bridge Church, started My City Care Medicine Hat in 2021 to serve the community by meeting practical needs such as food hampers, clothing, counseling services, and graduation attire, called the Cinderella Project, as well as their special event, A Night to Shine, for the special needs community. This grant will go towards supporting the Cinderella Project, helping low-income families access graduation attire and professional photos, as well as outfitting a trailer which will be their mobile free store. This trailer will be stocked with food, clothing, and kids items and will visit local schools providing basic needs to families and children who are in need. We invite Harvest Church volunteer Shyla and My City Care Director Emily to accept this grant of $7,000. Got another photo. Unison of Viner Center is a community hub focused on offering services and activities that help older adults live their best lives, meeting mental, physical, social, and emotional needs. Their new social prescribing program is aimed to bridge the gap between medical and social care services as a structured, supported referral pathway. This grant will help the program staff start up this new initiative, allowing them to purchase equipment such as workstations, filing cabinets, laptops, etc. I would like to welcome Erin Reeder, Program Manager, to accept this grant of $5,000 for the social prescribing program equipment. And finally, we have one more grant. Southview Community Church offers many unique outreach programs supporting the neighborhood of Southview, such as free seasonal events, pancake breakfasts, monthly family movie nights, and their very own English Cafe. This English Cafe is a program to connect newcomers in a casual and communal setting, allowing them to practice their English skills. This program has grown exponentially in its first year, and they have now outgrown the space they are in. This grant will allow them to renovate their foyer, expanding the space and adding a cafe-style dry bar, ultimately increasing the number of people they can serve at their weekly English Cafe. I would like to welcome Spencer Falk, Pastor of Community and Family Life, also our photographer this evening, to accept a grant of $8,000, of which $1,600 comes from the Roy and Elaine Wiedemann Fund. Awesome. And I just want to make mention to the grants that are going to be awarded in our 4 other rural areas. Just so you know, community grants awarded in special areas in MD of Acadia include Oyen Food Bank for food bank supplies, Hannah Food Bank for their food bank supplies, Empress Friendship Center, extending community relations. Chinook Applied Research Society for enhancing the knowledge sharing capacity. Big Country Adult Learning for their safe learning spaces, and Neutral Hills Baseball Academy for their technology upgrades, for a total of $31,589. Let's keep clapping. That's good. I have 3 more areas. Community grants awarded for Cypress County include 7 Persons Community Hall for restocking their gym equipment, Dunmore Equestrian Society for their community ranch accessible washrooms, and Elkwater Park Golf Course for their junior golf course enhancement for $8,678. We're not going to clap for them. All right. Grants awarded in the Brooks and District include 1 grant for the Brooks and District Child Development Society for the Brooks Toy Library for $5,000. And finally, the County of 40 Mile is receiving 2 grants, one for the Etzika Museum and Historical Windmill Center for their museum roof renovation project, and one for Many Berries Community Association for their community hall enhancement, for a total of $13,350. We've trained you well by the end of the event. So these grants will be presented in their respective communities over the next week here. So congratulations to all community grant recipients. And again, thank you to our wonderful donors who make these grants possible.
Even though it's the chair's reception, they let the ED do the closing remarks. So thanks, Kyle. So it's my job to thank you all for coming. We sincerely appreciate it, and the vibes and the energy and the spirit of giving in this room is really second to none. We'd like to thank very much David G. from Rogers Communications TV. I can't even see him. The light's so bright. But David has been awesome. He comes to every function we do, and it's always, he puts it out there for people to watch. So thank you very much, David. I'd also like, you can clap all at the very end. Again, thank JMH for their sponsorship. You know, Tyler is our treasurer and leads our finance committee. And we're looking for more accountants who would like to join the finance committee, because he wants to have more time to himself lately. But JMH has been a great sponsor, and Tyler's been really good with helping me with all the finance stuff coming back. Many of you know I've been here filling in since February, and it's been just a joy and a privilege and some of the most stressful times of my life because my brain doesn't work as good as it used to. But the staff have been great. It's so wonderful to reconnect with all the donors and the agencies that are doing that really hard work on the front lines. So it's just been a privilege. And you'll be lucky to know that Nikki will be back, I think, on February 3rd. And anyhow, we also wanted to invite you anytime from 9 to 12 on the week of December 9th to 13th. Cookies and coffee down at the Community Foundation office. We're happy to have you come visit and have a little chat. And, you know, if you'd like to make a donation, that'd be even more awesome, but we'd still love to see you, even if you don't. And we'll make sure you get your charitable tax return by the end of the year, even though there's a postal strike on. But anyhow, on behalf of the board of directors and the staff, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for all your efforts in making our region of the province just a stellar place to live, work, and play. And please drive carefully on the way home. We don't want us to have any accidents in this minus good awful weather. But anyhow, thank you so much. Thank you, Kyle, for chairing your reception, the chair's reception. And have a good night, everyone, and Merry Christmas.